world of technology. He's looking into the future. So he's very much like Laszlo. He's beyond the menial technology.
He's already thought of things that we haven't even thought of.
Exactly. But it's stuff so radical that it messes with his brain, and now he can't cope with regular relationships.
So did you, we're just going to start this interview, by the way. My name is Mike, the intern with 104.7 The Cave. I have in the studio with me via technology, Jon Heder, of course, from Napoleon Dynamite and a bunch of other great things. They're coming to the Aetos Center in Ozark here really soon. There are very limited tickets. Like, I think VIP's gone. All they've got left is some balcony seating. So if you want tickets, I would not wait till day of because you will not get them. But anyway, we started talking about his co-star in Napoleon Dynamite, Uncle Rico. Big fan of his as well, for all the way back from Real Genius. Did you know any stuff that he had done before you worked with him in that movie? Like, have you watched Real Genius before that or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I knew, like, this was going to be the first time. This was my first movie. And this really was the moment when I was like, oh my gosh, I'm making a movie and I'm going to be working with like a legit, not just a legit actor, but I knew who he was. I was like, that's Laszlo from Real Genius. I totally love Real Genius. And I remember that when growing up as a kid. And I'm trying to think what else. I mean, he's done tons of stuff. But
he's the homeless guy in Seinfeld that steals the walk from.
But at the time when Jared Hess, who wrote and directed Napoleon, when he told me we're getting John Grice, the first thing I thought, or at least when I looked it up, I was like, Real Genius. That I recognized him from. I was like, amazing.
Yeah, he incredibly talented. And again, what he did in White Lotus is also just incredible. Great character actor. And then, of course, just like super endeared with his character as Uncle Rico, who still to this day, that one shot of him with the football is the profile picture for my fantasy team, Uncle Rico's Revenge, and has been for several seasons now. So obviously the reason you guys are doing this tour is it is the anniversary of what you did with Napoleon Dynamite. And I think the whole idea of this thing is really cool, especially with the three of you together. Of course, the third being Pedro. Coming, and do you guys is it just like a Q&A? Do you kind of relive stories? How does this thing go down?
Well, what I would say typically they do a lot of these across the country where they'll screen a movie, some old classic, either cult or just a popular movie that, audiences love. And then they'll have one of the actors, if not the main actor, normally they have one actor come out and they do a moderated Q&A and they'll talk to Chevy Chase about his work doing Christmas Vacation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's the three of us. We don't have a moderator. We show the movie. And then after the movie, we come out and we do it's a very different, we put on a show as opposed to doing a sit down Q&A. There is a Q&A involved, but it's kind of an interactive, it's interspersed throughout activities we do. We give out prizes. There's a little bit of music involved. We get out there in the audience. We try to make this much more of a show.
And again, this is happening at Aetos, October 8th in Nixa. Great place to see a show. And there also has been some rumors swirling around, and I know it's not official yet, that there might be a possible sequel to this in the works. You want to talk on that or no?
There's no those myths are bunk.
I might use that as a sweeper for my radio station.
Over the last 10 years, there's always every now and then some rumor will pop up and it will gain steam. And then I get all these like friends and family who are so bummed. They're like, dude, you guys are shooting a second one. I'm like, no. They're like, oh, and I'm like, sorry. It's like, so no, there's none right now. But you know what? If there was and we shot it or we're planning to shoot it, I don't think I'd tell anybody anyway.
No, you don't want anyone to know. And then that's awesome. So if literally that's the case, you know what I mean? Then good on you. Keep your mouth shut and just lie to everybody. And then when it comes out, we'll be like, oh man. But that's
exactly
great. That's the way it goes. So anything else that you're working on right now that you're looking forward to coming up in the future beyond the Napoleon Dynamite Live?
Well, it's probably, hopefully, still in theaters. I have a movie in theaters right now called Waltzing with Brando.
Mhm.
Select theaters, so you got to look around. But that was a movie we shot a couple years ago that stars myself and Billy Zane. He plays Marlon Brando, and it's all about when Brando bought an island in the Pacific in Tahiti back during the late 60s, early 70s. And I play an architect who comes out to help him realize his dream of making it a livable paradise.
And I think, having Zane as Marlon Brando, some of the photos of him, they did a pretty good job of that cast. With the long hair, Marlon Brando, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, no, it's pretty uncanny.
Yeah.
And then there's another movie called Tapawingo that should be coming out soon, either this month or next. And that one, I tell people, is probably the closest thing I've done to Napoleon since Napoleon. Oddball characters in a small town called Tapawingo. It's a lot of fun. And that hopefully will be coming out soon.
It's awesome. Well, Jon, it is a very big pleasure. I've been a fan of you and the movie that you guys made together all those years ago. Since it came out, it was such a great. It was I want to say that I was still. I don't want to date myself, but I'm pretty sure I was in college at that point, or at least about to graduate high school into college. And I was already into media, and I was doing a lot of audio production, a lot of film production. And I just remember when it came out, how fresh it felt. You know what I mean? How even though you felt like it was a throwback, it felt new. And I think that's the true test of when you make something, when you create something, where the ones that get it right make it feel so effortless and make it feel so organic to what it actually is. And you guys pulled that off.
Thank you. Yeah, it was effortless. It was organic. I mean, pretty much everything you see is pretty real. I mean, aside from maybe a perm, and maybe some glasses, and a couple wardrobe, it's very real.
Yeah, and I love that story of when you're at the egg farm and you get that guy talking about you're having lunch and drinking lemonade, and he just rolled on him talking, and that's no script. That's what he said.
He's the real deal. It's just like, let's get a real farmer. I mean, it was kind of like shooting a documentary, but a controlled documentary. So reality TV, in other words.
Yeah, and you guys nailed it. Get your tickets now before they're gone. Napoleon Dynamite Live, Aetos Center, Nixon, Missouri, October 8th. It starts at 6. Jon, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.